Welcome back to Drugstore in the World. Anime Review episode number 12. This is reviewing the final episode of the first season of Drugstore in Another World, which is called Let's Open a Drugstore in Another World. Yes, that is simply the name of this episode. Now, most of this episode, from what I can tell, is an anime original episode mixed in with the first chapter of the first book. Yes, which I'm so happy they finally adapted this thing because for some reason they skipped over this. I would have thought that they would start this with the pilot episode, but no. It's told in the very first episode. They did kind of briefly reference the fourth chapter of book one, but they never adapted it into this very episode. Now, I will get to my final thoughts a little bit later. Now, the episode starts off with, well, we have, how should I put this? We have basically, everyone's in the shop, and all of a sudden Elaine shows up. Perhaps in here in a couple episodes. Basically, she's there to invite Renji, Mina, and Nuela to a party, a drinking party. So, of course, Renji goes because the girl insists on it. So, then of course, after they leave, of course, and Renji tries to, go to the party, but he doesn't succeed in it. Of course, there's a subplot involving him that kind of gets wrapped up in this particular episode, which I thought was kind of odd to say the least. Of course, he overhears the party. Of course, trying to teach him. And of course, like nah. And then he gets whacked in the face multiple times by Nuela's tail, and then he's off sleeping on the couch with the Nuela plushie. Yep, which I thought was kind of funny. So they said they go to the party, but they see that they had to fix some clothes up. The clothes fit, but the clothes are moldy and kind of moth eaten. So luckily out there, Renji makes up a special potion to fix up the clothes, no problem. And, we see Renji where he puts on, we have this little funny, we have Mina in her dress, and she goes to get Renji, and apparently he's just getting dressed. Now, he's just putting his shirt on. And apparently that is caused to be calling herself a peeping Tom just because she saw him without his shirt on. I'm sure Renji is a guy who looks like he keeps in good shape. He keeps in good shape because it looks like he has some muscle there. And then he puts on and of course he mentions that his necktie feels a little uncomfortable because it reminds him of his old world. They finally do show it, and of how the heck he even got here, because this was never explained in the pilot episode. So he is wishing to be in a different place, so he gets transported to a different world, isekai'd, though how the heck he got here is not really explained. It's kind of hinted that he kind of sees stuff in a video game. It's not thoroughly explained here. It's he can identify medicines. I'm okay. They hinted at this in the pilot episode. He was isekai here. He was a boring salaryman in the previous world. He was isekai here, but they never delved into it fully. He can identify stuff, and then he hears a noise, and it's a wolf. And then he trying to use a potion on it that's happily there. Turns this potion actually stinks. So he just creates a different potion, which, by the way, this is the potion that becomes a big hit in the pilot episode, which that's so great. That's one of the few potions and stuff he's made that is actually referenced here. So, gives the wolf a medicine. And this wolf just happens to be Nuela, which means this is the first time these two actually met. And of course, she's happily wearing the very clothes, which that also is never explained. Okay, I get the fact you want to keep her, put her in actual clothing. Where the heck did she get this clothes from? And there's not much explained about this character at all. I mean, yeah, she's cute and adorable, but they didn't really explain her at all. And of course, they have her and Renji walk off, and that's it. In case you're wondering, that is essentially the first chapter of the first book. And of course, he's dreaming about this while he's sleeping on his bed. And all of a sudden, the riot shows up, and there's a coach. And we see We see Mina in her dress. We see Noella. First time in the series, Noella is not wearing her bell. She's usually wearing all the episodes. And they go to the party, and they go to the party, run to Lane. Lane, of course, invites the Demon King, though it kind of implied he invited himself. So they go to the party, and they run into the Count. First time in several episodes they run into him. And this is the first and probably only episode of the entire season we see the entire Vargas family in the same scene together. Heck, basically in the same shot, him and his beautiful wife. Wow. And, he apparently grew back his mustache, despite the fact last time he was seen, he shaved off the mustache. When in the heck he grew this back? Don't know. Probably at some point anyways. And he reveals to Renji, hey, there's a bunch of ladies here who want to meet you because you're famous. And of course he's surrounded by a bunch of the girls. Elaine is jealous, which is so funny. And then eventually he's dragged away from the girls. Of course, Paula basically informs Renji's butler where he is, and Renji, when he informs Demon King where his butler where he is, and of course he goes back home. Of course he works there 4 days a week. That kind of has that loose plot thread there. And of course, see him later on where he's with the Noella plushie, and we see him and his butler just dancing from our own dance party. I'm like, what? Yeah, this is nothing. And then the episode ends with basically Renji dancing with Mina and Noella, which is so cool. The fact he's dancing. And of course, he mentions I can't dance. Of course, I can dance. Yep, and we do see in dresses. We see the original character, I don't remember her name. We see Paula. We see pretty much every single female character. Heck, almost forgot to mention. Kakuru's here. His sister is here, which is great. Yeah, Rika appears for a brief cameo this episode. Yes. Excuse me, which I think is the first time she has appeared since the pilot, since her first appearance, which was in. It was a few episodes back. I don't remember what episode it was, but it's great to see her, even if it's for a brief cameo. Yep. So yes, and we see that the Lord Vargas is oh yeah, the main event is Kakuru, who's the handsome guy, and apparently winks at him, probably because, and this is my personal theory, I think he's trying to set him up with his sister. Of course, sister is beautiful in many ways, who's implied to have a thing for Renji. So is Annabelle, though in the case of Annabelle herself, Draz apparently has got a thing for her too. Though with him, he apparently decided to have Renji develop a potion to raise his tolerance to alcohol, which it did work. And of course, the Annabelle in a very lovely dress. First, I'm seeing her outside of her normal attire, which is great. It's a great party scene, and of course, that's where the series ends. I would say probably the season per se. I'm hoping for a season 2. Now, I think that this episode was really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a pretty fun episode. I can't wait to see a second season for the show. Now, I did not mention this in the first episode. This is the studio who made this, is EMT Squared. Now, aside from this series, I did not mention this in the pilot episode. I'm sorry I did not mention this. The only other series I've actually watched that this company made is Love Tyrant. Yep, and this series by far is the most recent one they worked on. They also worked on Kama Bear. I have not watched this one. It has a really interesting, have a girl dressed up as a bear. I might be interested in getting into this one, but it just depends. I gotta say, I love the animation for this season. I'm really hoping, that we get a second season out of this. Now you might ask, is there enough material to do another season? Yes, definitely. Now, I have noticed, though, the last couple episodes have been sort of in original because I don't know where the heck they get this material from. Because I think this stuff is mostly in original, though it could be from book 3. I don't know because I haven't read book 3 yet. Book 3 is going to come out here for a couple months. Yep. Yeah, but just really good. Yeah. Also, one thing I have noticed, though, there's also these Red Rising novels. Yes, for some reason these books have never been released over here. Nope, just the Brave novels. Yeah, those are released over here. And look at the covers for the all 6 volumes. Noella is on all 6 covers. Yep. Renji, of course, is also on all 6 covers. Mina is only on book 3. Yep. That's the interesting thing. She's on book 3, but she's not on the rest of the covers. No, not really. Yeah, it's weird though. One cover for her and have Renji and Noelle like all the covers. Well, I get the why Noella because she's the poster girl. Yep. One thing I really hope they eventually do for this season, well, at least, well, now I haven't had a chance. Now, in case you might ask, have I had a chance to read the manga that adapts the series? No, I haven't. I will eventually read it per se, just not at the moment. Nope, but I eventually will. Don't worry about that. Yep. So yeah, that's episode review, and that's gonna be pretty much it for videos today because I have no other type of videos. So I thought I was gonna get a chance to do Shaman King today, but because of how late it is, not gonna happen. So I'll do that tomorrow along with the final episode of the first season. I think it's the first season for How Realistic with the Kingdom and the Case Closed. Yep. So 3 anime tomorrow. Yep. We're supposed to be 3 today, but I only got a chance to do 2, which is good. But at least these 2 came out basically a couple days ago. So in the case of these 2 episodes here, as of right now, Wednesday is open for me when it comes to anime. Yep, Wednesday is open. So I have 3 days in a row, no new anime. So as of right now, the only days I have anime are Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's it. Though I don't know when Yashin Princess have Demons returning. I will eventually watch that when it comes up. But yeah, so until I see it tomorrow, I'm going to do those 3 anime. Plus, as of right now, one comic corner. Okay? Next video. Bye.